Hello, we are Keith and Coy Pierce. We really appreciate everything you do for the ministry that we are involved in Cuba. I'm the associational mission strategist for the Clinton Baptist Association, working with the 45 churches in our association. But one of our ministries that Coy and I were doing before we even came here was the Caminos de Victoria in the middle of the island in Cuba. And it is a church planting movement. The churches in Cuba are flourishing because they are being persecuted. They find themselves under persecution somewhat. It's not like it was years ago. It's more of a passive kind of persecution. And at one point, the buildings that they were meeting in were torn down. Many of you know, if you know anything about Cuba, that if there was a church that existed before 1959, it was allowed to continue, but no new churches have been able to be built in Cuba since 1959. So what happened is Pastor Jose Enrique Perez and his family, who you see on the prayer card, they are the ones who led this ministry, and they went and asked if they could build another building because the church had begun to grow. And the authorities told them, no, you're not building another building. You have houses. Go have church in your houses. So they went out, got mad about it at first. Then they went out and said that's what they did in the book of Acts. So they went out and started doing house churches. We work with several house churches, and we raise support for the pastors or missionaries of those house churches. And we were doing it $25 a month before the inflation got so bad. Now it's $40. And it's the salary of a person who works in Cuba, a monthly salary. I know that just is inconceivable to most of us who live here. But many of these churches, they've gone out. We've helped build churches. We've bought wagons. We've bought horses, tractors. We've done a lot of things for the people that are there. And it is, the church is growing. Many of the church plants, one in particular that I think of right now, you go into the house and it looks like a little kitchen. They've built a room onto the back of it. And in that room, it will seat about 80 people. And they have planted 5 other churches out of that. They grow, they plant another church. It's kind of the Old Testament way. So we really want to thank you for your support. I want to mention, many of you know Coy because she does a lot on Facebook Marketplace. She's getting shoes, clothing, medicine, vitamins, all of that, supplies. And that's for the churches because right now the conditions are so bad in Cuba that there's literally nothing. There's hardly anything on the shelves. So we try to take stuff there. So pray we get our religious visas. Pray for our team. Thank you for what you're doing. We're going back again on February 18th through the 22nd. We've got a team of 7 people, and just pray that God uses that and we see the church continue to grow. We come back learning a lot more from them than we go to teach them because these guys know how to do multiplication, and just pray for that.
We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your prayers and your support. And I know that the missionaries and their families in Cuba also appreciate your prayers and your financial support. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.